To a Corvette, and he gets in the Corvette, and the girl's like, oh, she walks over and she's like, this your car? And he was just like, what you mean is this my car? And she's like, this is your car? And he's like, yeah, this is my car. She's like, why didn't you tell me you drove this car?
What did you tell me?
And then he was like, what do you mean, why didn't I tell you? Like, you just want me to walk up to you like, I drive a vet? Like, that's what I do. I got a Corvette. And she was just like, no, but like, let's go somewhere. And he's like, what? It's like, bro. It's crazy to me, though. It is crazy to me. One that really was funny to me because the girl was so like shocked, like she was so like blown back. Like, so he went to, he was, so she was, they were at Target in the car park, and she was pushing her cart back to, you know, where you leave your carts at or whatever. And he was just like, yo, he's like, yeah, I can do that. Let me get the cart, because he had the cart in his hand. And she was like, oh, you work here? He's like, yeah, let me just get the cart, whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. He's like, so what's your name? And she was just like, nah, I can't be seen with you. And he was just like, what you mean you can't be seen with me? And she was just like, nah, like, I can't be seen with you. Like, you, like, how old are you? And he was like, I'm 27. What you trying to say? And she's like, you're 27, you're pushing carts at Target? And he was just like, well, I'm about to quit this job anyway. Like, he's just like, I came to work here, like, and like the money but you know, and she's like, how much do you make per hour? And he was just like, I mean, like $8.50 an hour, like at the end of 3 weeks, like, I get like $300, boom, boom. And she's like, yeah, that's not enough to like take me out. And he's like, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm a legal, what'd she say? She was basically a legal secretary. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't, you know, top level job type person, whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, I don't even know what that is, but cool. She's like, you don't know what that is? She's like, you don't know anything about like lawyers and stuff like that? And like this, that, third, or whatever. And he was just like, oh, he's like, nah, I don't. He's like, but I tell you what, like, can you, I got a couple speeding tickets. Could you like get those like like just, you know, knock those off? I got some warrants for speeding tickets. Say it again. Yeah, he said it to her. He's like, since you work in the legal like office and stuff, he's like, could you like get the tickets taken on? She was like, nah, I don't think I can do that. Like, nah, I can't do that. So he was just like, oh, okay. So what you telling me? Like, why, you know, what's going on? Like, let me get your number and then I can take you out. She's like, you can't take me out on $300. And then he was just like, well, I'm about to leave this job and I'm about to go get a job over there at this other place, and they pay $12 an hour if you get to manager, so it wouldn't even take me long. And I know how I save my money and stuff. Like, I really hustle. Like, I make sure like I take care of myself and stuff. Like, and she was just like, you can't. And then she mentioned, he's like, what type of place do you want me to take you to? And she's like, well, I don't want you to take me anywhere, but like if I was to go out, like she named some expensive restaurant, and then he was just like, right, well, yeah, like let me save up and then like I can take you. And then she was just like, nah, because while you're saving up, like I could like be with somebody else who can actually just afford to take me straight away. And he was just like, yeah, but I'm saying though, like you gotta give a guy a chance. Like you can't just be out here just like knocking me down because of my job or because like I'm not just. She's like, but look at your drip. Like you're not even dressed, like you don't present yourself right or anything like that. He was just like, how am I supposed to present myself? Like I'm at work. Like I'm not, you know, I'm not like going out for it or what have you. And he was like, I'm gonna quit this job anyway. So like, obviously, don't you want to be with somebody who's like building towards something? She's like, you're 27. How are you building towards anything? She's like, I'm 21 and I have a better job than you. And he was just like, yeah, but some people get better starts in life. Like I'm just out here hustling. Like I'm just doing my thing, whatever I can do. So it went on and on and on and on. And you could just clearly tell like she was just like up her ass or whatever. And it's not to knock women or anything like that. It's just, you know, certain there are certain women out there like that, which I think everybody should acknowledge that. It's not like as if I'm saying that like it's all women, because it's not. But it's the purpose of the video. So in the end, like closer to the, like not the end of the video, but closer towards the end, he was just like, oh, I'm gonna. He was like, well, like you don't, I can't get your number or nothing. She was like, nah. He's like, I can't get like your Instagram, your Snap. She was like, nah, I can't be seen with someone like you. Like I can't be seen with someone like you. He was just like,
what's up with these guys?
Well, I guess it's for the purposes of the video, right? Like, it's like to push it to the extent where,
all right, it's for the
whereby.
But was that the first? Was that the first guy
at that point
speaking about, or this other guy?
It's the same guy. It's the same guy. It's the same guy.
So he was doing the
So
target thing as well.
it's the same guy that does like a plethora of videos. Yeah. So it's like he
All right.
targets a certain type. He targets like he doesn't. I don't think he's looking for girls who he knows for certain have that mentality. I think he's just looking to talk to girls and then see what their mentality is like once he walks off and gets into the supercar or gets into. So at that point, he's just like, all right, cool. So I guess I'm not going to get your number or whatever. You said no, whatever. Like, I get, you shoot your shot, you miss sometimes. She's like, yeah, just get stuff like some better drip and stuff. And like, whatever. And he's like, all right, cool. Like, all right, peace then. And he walks over and he gets in his Corvette. And she's like, excuse me. And he's like, what's going on? And she's like, is this your car? And he was just like, yeah, it's my car. And she was just like, you work at Target, you have a Corvette. He's like, yeah, I saved hard for this car. And she was just like, you saved for this car off a Target paycheck. He said, I told you, like, I hustle. I got other jobs. Like, I'm just trying to make it. Like, and I pay for this. This is my dream car. So then she was just like, well, can I, like, sit in it? Can I, like, take a picture with it and stuff like that? And he was just like, you want to take a picture of my car? She was just like, yeah, like, and he was just like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, go ahead, sit in it. Like, and like he got out and like opened up the door for her. And she got in the car. He was like, you like it? You like the car? She's like, yeah, I like it. Like, I've never seen one like up close and stuff like that, or like sat in one. He's like, you never sat in a vet? That's crazy. So now his mentality is like, all right, now I'm gonna act like I'm interested. But the fucked up part about it is it gets towards the point where she's like, yeah, so why don't we go out? Like, why don't you take my number and we can go out and like go to dinner or something like that? And he was just like, oh, you want to go to dinner now? And he's like, why don't we go out? He's like, why don't we go somewhere right now? He's like, I'll show you how far, like, I'll take you somewhere, like, and she's like, oh yeah, cool. So she like locks her car and goes to get in his car. And he's like, cool. And then like he drives out and pulls next to her car and says, yeah, this is how far gold diggers go. Get out of my car. And then like she gets out the car and she's just like, what the hell? And he's just like, you didn't want to talk to me when I was broke. You didn't want to like even give me like a minute or nothing. Like, and then all of a sudden I get in his car and everything changes. And she's like, oh, it's probably a rental anyway. He's like, no, I own this car. Like, this is my car. He's like, I got several cars. He's like, I'm a YouTuber. I make a lot of money. He's like, but I don't.
The issue with that though, like, not to say that you should target people that have a similar ambition to you, but it can be quite hard.
There are standards.
Yeah,
there are standards.
You know what I mean? Like, it can be quite hard if you're on like this sort of level of standard and someone's on a below level of standard. It's quite hard to sort of date that person. You're going to have a lot of issues. And second of all,
we got to talk about. But we got to talk about that.
About the fact that if he said this, which would have made me think, nah, I'm not fucking with you. If I was in her position, which is pay for my legal bills. Like, what? Like, like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like,
no, he wasn't saying pay for it. He was saying like scratch it off the record, like just like get rid of it. Don't like not pay for it, but like that's just make it go away because she's in the legal thing.
That's worse.
No, here's the thing though.
Risk my job for someone that I don't know.
No,
fuck that.
Wait. When she said when she noticed the car, right, and then they had like a little conversation before like the whole driving thing. He was like, yo, so can you actually help me with that legal stuff? She was like, yeah, I can help you with it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Of course, because now she knows that.
But I'm not saying in reality,
he might take care of her, and if she does lose her job, he's going to cover her. But at that point, when he asks,
100%,
can you take care of my legal bills?
Yeah, it's a random question.
That's like someone coming to me and say, oh, can you take care of this bank situation? Can you like
this bank thing? I'm sorry.
Like, come on,
yo,
bro.
I come to you like, yo, Raph, man, listen.
Come on,
you just throw like 100K in my account, bro, just out of nowhere. Like, whose account? Just throw it in my account, bro. Like,
I think for me, family, never mind.
Like, I'm just
some random. so it's just.
But let me address this real quick. Let me address this real quick. So the other day, I don't know who will know who LeVar Ball is, but LeVar Ball is the father of these three young black basketball players who. Two of which his sons are in the NBA. The other one I think plays in G League or whatever. And he was saying the other day on a podcast, they asked him like, "What's the advice you've given your sons?" And this is just something you said like just previously. And he was just like, I told him that just to be like for them to be careful because every girl they meet from this point forward is a hoe. And I was like, damn. Now I'm gonna break this down in two different sections, right? on one side, he has a point. And a lot of women don't want to hear that. And that's fine. I understand. On the other side, it's very crass and very rude and disgusting. So to deal with the point that he has first, and to tackle a point that you made, yes, people do have standards, right? Of course, if you're the owner of a Fortune 500 company, you're probably only going to be around women in that standard. Now, they might not own a Fortune 500 company, but they come from wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, they come from a family who's made money with it. Those are the type of women you're going to be around. And for the most part, you might not ever meet a woman who just works at Target or Walmart or Tesco's or Sainsbury's or Asda or whatever, right? So that's fair. Standards, that's fair. But what in today's society, a lot of things that I see are it's crazy how much women in today's society, not all women, but a certain number of women will look at being taken care of by a man who is successful, right? And when you said like, obviously there are levels, but there are, and women don't want, I'm sure women ain't gonna want to hear this, but it's true. There are more men out here taking women from the street to Hermes than there are women taking men from the street to Hermes. Now, obviously, in society, we know
it's that because society is not equal. So women, in general, don't earn as much.
I was just about to say that
as much as men.
I was literally about to say that. So
when we get to like equality, then we can start saying, okay, cool. Now everyone pull their weight. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
No, 100%. But for instance, in relationships that we're in, our women pull their weight. Now we're on equal footing, right? Because we're not necessarily like we're not making millions at this particular point, and they're not making millions.
I've never gone for someone that I don't really care sort of what they do in their job, so to speak. I'm not really too bothered about that, but their priorities.
Yeah.
So I've never really gone for someone that's being about sort of spending loads of money, or their political views don't really sort of add up to sort of what I believe, or they don't have like substance in sort of the way that they think and the way that they talk. So I would never 100%. Put myself in that position, that particular situation. And I don't think you would either. So I don't.
No.
When people have those sort of, I think that's on them. That's not on. Do you mean it's on them?
Oh no, 100%. I'm just making the point that they are probably our boss. Like Nicki Minaj said, shout out to my boss, bitches, wife, and niggas. Oh no, that was Drake. Sorry, Drake said that, right, about Meek. And I'm not trying to dredge that up. I'm just saying, like, obviously, whoever, if Nicki Minaj going with the dude that she's with now, for instance, he's not on her financial level. That's just, I got love for him. We've made a relationship out of it. Cool. But there's not a lot of women who are doing that. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every successful woman should be looking for a man with a bus pass. I'm not saying that at all. Obviously, when you're at a certain level, you're only going to date guys at a certain level. Dudes who can take care of themselves. They got decent enough jobs. They make decent enough money every year. It's all good. What I'm saying is that it's more likely in today's society. I'm not saying like through jobs, because we already know the inequalities that are there, because it's fucking disgusting. But in today's society, where women are getting money and men are getting money, men will see a girl at a bus stop and be getting and he's driving, the best Mercedes or whatever the case may be, and he'll stop and go talk to that girl. What I'm saying is, on the other hand, most times a girl will not stop and talk to a good-looking dude at the bus stop.
But do you think that's another thing, which is men are driven by their pants rather than like a lot of women? A lot of women, I would say, there are obviously women that would be like, yeah, I just want to get me some. Like, fair enough. Women like that. Yeah. But I'd say the majority of women, right, aren't thinking about that. They're thinking about relationship and connections. Whereas the guy that has a bit of money might pick up a girl at the bus stop because he might be like, yeah, I want to get some. But that's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to like give her a house. He just wants to get some. So
100%.
If you feel the situation, but then we have to of what that guy was doing, if it was a woman, put it this way, right? If a woman did that, to a guy, 100%, well, 80% of the time, the guy would fall for it.
The guy would already be talking to her way before he sees the car.
Regardless of the car.
100%.
He would be, you just see.
But men are more visual. But men are more visual, so we're going to be more disposed to being attracted straight away. Versus, and I think that tells the whole story, right? Like, if as a man, you talk to a woman because you're attracted to her physically. You know, anybody who says, when I met them, I just love the way they talk. No, you initially went over there because you were physically attracted to that person.
But I think
so. As a man, women, I can accept that.
I think women are attracted the same way to a degree to men as men are to women, right?
Oh no, 100%. But women, but women have since the dawn of time.
But women
don't approach men like that.
Control. That's what I'm trying to say. They have control over. Like, okay, he's a good-looking guy.
What they're gonna do.
But I want to know about his I want to know about him as a person. Like, what does he do for a living? What how is he as a person? That's what I'm trying to say. Whereas guys, literally just most guys
out here, it's like
just look at the looks.
Yeah, no. I just feel like I'm not saying that and I don't want any women to jump on me. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying that I remember when I was like 16, right? And I wrote this long. I had like this pad, like this thick, and I wrote like this long thing about women who don't talk to dudes because they're not like got that much money right now. Like, and back then when I was like 16, 17 years old, like I had all the jackets and all the Visu and Mark Echo and all the shit that was hot back then. So nobody could talk to me about my clothes game. Like I had everything. So even if I was like broke, which I wasn't at that age, but even if I was, you wouldn't know it, right? Now I knew that by having all that stuff, like I knew by having that stuff, it was an attraction thing. It was like, if I'm wearing like, because Averex jackets were the shit back then. Like everybody, if you were into fashion, you had an Averex jacket. And I had many Averex jackets. And I walk around, go to college, my Averex jacket on, and people are like, oh my God, like Zeke's got every Averex jacket, whatever. Like it becomes like a thing. And I know that. Like I knew at the time, I knew it. Like if I got the best sneakers and the girls are gonna look at, best jeans, whatever, girls are gonna look at me. I was one of the first dudes in my college who had the Visu jeans with the logo all the way down the back of the pants leg and shit like that. Like nobody had those. They were way too expensive for EMA. And girls liked that shit. Like girls were more attracted or more interested in talking to me because of the fact that I might have some finance because of the way I was dressing and the way I looked, right? And there were dudes who I would probably say, hand on heart, was better looking dudes than me. And I don't hold myself in high esteem like that. But because of the way that I presented myself, I was more attractive. And because they would wear like a Nike tracksuit, they weren't. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that dude might be better for you. And sometimes you have to open your eyes to the possibility, be a part of a story instead of just trying to be a part of the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, be a part of the fact that you could actually help him get to that level. And this vice versa for men as well. But I just see that men, like you said, probably more through physical and sexual attraction, are more likely to go after a woman regardless of her occupation or what she does, or if she's taking a bus or if she's driving a good car. I've always personally liked women who had strong mindsets and wanted to achieve things. You know, after the physical attraction, your brain has to match your body. Otherwise, there's no point here. Like, I'm just gonna like any man who tells you different is lying to you. You're gonna get you're gonna get bored. Just like a woman should probably get bored too. If your mental isn't there, then there's no point in us having this conversation. It's just that simple. So I understand all sides of it. And this has been happening, like I said, since I was 16, 17 years old. So now I'm 33. I look at it like I'm at a place where being in a relationship, you know, with my girl now, I know that's not her mindset. And even when we have all this money and, you know, all the success, everything that we're building currently, I know she still ain't gonna be out here talking about, I'm gonna go buy me the most expensive bag, or I'm gonna go buy me the most expensive this, whatever. People's tastes do change when finance becomes a thing. But I know it's not gonna be stupid like, I'm gonna go spend, you know, $20,000 on a bag. But I mean, depending on the money, I guess that's not stupid. I guess if you're living in a different realm at this point, it's not. If you can afford it, you do what you want. But I know that's not her mental. I know that's not what she's on. So my whole thing, and I've always been cool with a woman making more money than me. I'm good with it. Like shit, I can stay home. Like,
I'm fine with it.
But
but I just don't. I just feel
like
at the moment.
I just think that we should. Equality means leveling the scales everywhere.
Yeah, but it has to start with women getting the same. There's 50% of women in the world, and there's 50% of men in the world. So there's no reason as to why.
Well, technically, there's more women than men, apparently.
Yeah, but it must be like a slight percentage, though. But my point is that the scales aren't the same. So, to be honest, I don't really blame some women for doing that. It's just not my type of woman. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that type of guy to be doing that. So,
yeah, no, I if I'm driving a nice car and a woman starts talking to me because of the car, or looks at the car and all of a sudden tries to give me the time of day, I'm gonna be like, listen, you need to take 3 steps back and reevaluate your life. like I could be a straight up abuser and you just out here willing to get in the car. Like, you need to chill.